What's going on, guys? The day is Monday, March 18th. This is officially week 7 of trying to get funded through Topstep. And what are my thoughts about what I'm feeling right now? I'm feeling like this week, I don't care what happens. All I know is I need 3 trades back-to-back to win, or 3 trades back-to-back to get funded. Last week I should have been funded, but I had so many mistakes that I was making, just so many things wrong that I didn't deserve to get funded that week. So that being said, with this upcoming week, I'm hoping that I can take a trade tomorrow and take a winning position, and then for the remainder of the week just continue to take 3 winning trades. That's all I need, is 3 winning trades. After I get those 3, that's when the real trading starts, and I will be funded. So that's the plan. But obviously I can't determine what the market does. I just have to go based off the probabilities. I'll continue to risk 2% per trade. I will not make the mistake of not risking 2% on the first trade. I will risk 2% on the first trade, and we'll just do it like that. And yeah, let's just get right into it. So today is Monday. Like I said, we didn't take a trade today. As you guys can see, we're on the 15-minute time frame on NQ, and as you guys know, I mark out pre-market just swing points. That's pretty much it. Pre-market liquidity, where buy side liquidity is, and sell side liquidity. And as you guys can see, there is no liquidity resting because we had a large overnight run. Price action was literally just trending up the entire time. So there is no opportunity for us to get in any type of positions today. Tomorrow, we're going to be hoping that we can get a better range and price will set up and give us something beautiful. And you know, we're just going to play it like that, play it by ear. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, a little late to the screen recording, but figure out. Right now in my position, I'm a little bit over leveraged. When price gets down here, I'll be down 2,100, and so if I could figure out, I don't know how to let one contract go. If I could let one contract go, then I'd be good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get stopped out before we even hit my stop loss. Come on, take us out, man. Take us out, man. Literally was at the 2,000. Just need one last pop, man. One last pop. Get us out of there, man. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous, man. One last one, man. Let's go. Get me out of here. Bro, just give me the pop. There we go. Thank you, bro. Frick, man. Bang. Beautiful trade. Happy, bro. All right, we're just gonna do a really quick analysis on what happened today. I know that trade that I took didn't look anything like my setup that I usually take, and that's because it really wasn't. I'm trying to incorporate, what is it, higher time frame PD arrays. I'm pretty sure they're called higher time frame PD arrays, like fair value gaps, order blocks, and just stuff like that. I'm not entirely sure what a breaker block is, so I'm not even gonna say it, but I'm mainly looking for order blocks and fair value gaps with my direction along in congruence with daily bias, right? So what we saw here on Monday, actually, I was anticipating price opened up here. I'm anticipating price coming out and taking out this low right here and potentially coming down to take out these lows resting down here. And after this bar closed bullish, I was anticipating price now coming out to take out liquidity resting above here, or even resting above this previous day high. And as you can see, it ended up being an inside day. We actually did take the lows of this previous day candle, but based off of how this candle closed, I was still for the next day anticipating higher prices to come out and take out these highs. So with that being said, I ended up taking the buys that I took yesterday. But for today, I was actually looking for price to come up and take out liquidity resting low on the lower time frame, on the 4-hour time frame, for a price to take out liquidity resting above here, liquidity resting above here that was inside of this fair value gap. So I was anticipating price sweeping the highs of this fair value gap and then reversing. We also had relative equal highs resting right here, relative equal highs resting right here on the 4-hour time frame. And then as you can see, we got the huge spike up, and then we got a quick retracement back down. And even on the lower time frame, you can see we had this 1-hour fair value gap along with the 4-hour, and then we also have this 1-hour fair value gap that was formed right here. So after we got all these confluences, oh, and another thing is also we swept liquidity on the 15-minute from the 830 candle high. From the 830 range, this high right here, we took these highs right here, which also gave me, and we tapped into another 15-minute fair value gap. So there's just a lot of confluences that this trade right here we had a potential to go lower, at least just for a couple minutes, long enough to catch us a little trade. But as you guys can see, we actually never tapped back into this fair value gap that we had resting up here. From the screen recording, it kind of looked like that we just kind of took the trade based off momentum. But I have my iPad here, and I was looking at the charts for ES, and I actually took ES off of this fair value gap that we saw get formed right here. So as you guys can see, and as everybody should know, ES is a lot weaker in price. Like, ES doesn't move as volatile as NQ does. So as you can see, ES got the dump, and then we left behind the fair value gap here. At the bottom of the market in NQ, before I took my trade, it was about right here. NQ had dumped about like 300-400 points, and at this point I'm just looking for an entry. We see ES pulled back up into this fair value gap, and then after we got a rejection off that fair value gap, that's when I actually took my shorts right there, and it lined up perfectly, and it gave us just a solid enough push just to get a little quick 1-to-1. Not a quick 1-to-1, that's actually 90 ticks that we caught right there. So it was a good trade. And then as you guys can see, kind of consolidated for the rest of the day. Today was FOMC day, so obviously it's going to consolidate all day, and then we're going to get the breakup later in the day. So for tomorrow, what I'm looking at is actually looking at buys if we don't take out these highs prior to the New York kill zone. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Alright, so as y'all can see, we end up losing on that position. I know exactly why. So like I said earlier, I told you guys I was going to try to incorporate higher time frame PD arrays. I haven't had a chance to back test it yet. Obviously we know the probabilities will be higher, but what I'm back testing is seeing if I'm taking, just trying to see which one is better, right? So I haven't back tested it yet, so today I decided to play my regular strategy. After we swept 830 highs, displacement, fair value gap, enter on the fair value gap, and obviously it's a simple setup. That's what we did today. If we're looking on the higher time frame, I don't usually look at the higher time frame for my original strategy, which I didn't look at it today, but just to get a grasp of where the market is, we have our charts marked up and everything. So we pretty much expected on a daily time frame price to draw to take out these highs right here. That was pretty obvious. So I knew that I really didn't want to be taking shorts at all today. I knew for a fact I didn't want to short the market at all, but I decided to take my setup when I saw it because it's back tested for a reason. Like, you know what I'm saying? I have the strategy for a reason, so I decided to follow the strategy. Obviously we lost today. A way that I know I could have avoided this loss was either wait for price to take these highs before shorting. And that was about it. At least for something, because for my trade that I took today, as you guys can see, this was the trade we took today. If we look on the 15-minute time frame, what do we have? We literally have a sweep of liquidity right there, we have a fair value gap that was already disrespected. There's just nothing on that trade that gave us a good entry. There was nothing to the left that gave us any type of any type of extra confluence that this trade was going to work out. So really, we should have waited for this day for these highs to be taken out before looking for a trade, and I didn't do that today. I decided to take my normal setup, and I paid the price for it. So right now, the account is at $2,482. I will not be risking 2% on the next trade because that is the stupidest thing to do. Because I'm pretty sure my drawdown limit is like 2,000. Like, I hate this trailing drawdown stuff, but I'm pretty sure my trailing drawdown, if it would load, it should be around $2,000. Oh, okay, maybe. So maybe my trailing drawdown will be around break even. And if it's at break even, then I'll risk the 2%. But if it's like 100,000 something, 100,000, 1,000, I'm not gonna risk the 2%. I'm gonna try to trade my way back up. That's probably what I'm probably gonna do with this account, is trade my way back up. But yeah, next trade, we're gonna wait for a lot better setup. Whenever I get some time later today, I'll be back testing higher time frame PD arrays to see how many winning trades I miss out on, how many losing trades I miss out on, and just seeing which one's better, for me. So yeah, as you guys can see, we've taken some good trades here. We've taken 3 good trades, or 2 good trades at least. So yeah, we're just gonna come back and see what we can get out of Friday, I'm pretty sure. So what's happening, we just took NQ longs. I'm pretty sure my trade's gonna get stopped out really early. Like, I don't even know if it's gonna, go all the way through, but I'm trying to figure out whether my stop loss limit is 2,033, because right here it says that I have a minimum balance of $1,233, but then it also says my maximum loss is at 100,000. So if I'm being real, I kind of just took the position, bro. It wasn't a bad setup though. We ended up taking this inverse fair value gap on ES. Ended up taking this inverse. I'm expecting a push higher. we're gonna see if we can let this trade run to at least 2 bands. Our stop, I guess, will be the blue line, I suppose. Just simply just hoping we can get the pop through the 36s here. Look at me reading price action like looking for the pop through the 36s. There we go. Spike of volatility through the 35s. Seems like we're pushing up on the bid here. Like, bro, I just want the 2 bands for the day. You know, I don't want the 1600s. I want the 2000. You know what I'm saying? There you go. Give me the 2000. I'm taking profit right there. All right, the account is back. We took about that like 1 to 1.1. Basically we'll just go over this trade right now so we don't have a stupid long video, so I can get my day started, right? So essentially we had this inverse fair value gap on NQ. Ended up taking that inverse fair value gap at about 843. You can see this 843 bar. We entered at the top of this bar. Excuse me. There was no real area we could have put our stop at for structure. It seems like we got a perfect sell right there. But there is no area for market structure where we could have put our stops at. So we just put it at the low at that candle. This candle actually ended up being a pretty decent push. So we got us a pretty good stop loss on this trade, about 52 ticks, which was beautiful. Put our stops at the bottom of that candle, and then we just rode it out to the 1 to 1. I wanted to see this trade run up. I'm expecting higher prices for the day. I think this was a good trade today, and I'm gonna just go over why. So for one, if we're looking on the daily time frame, you guys can see that we have liquidity equal highs resting above here. We have equal highs resting above here, and we're looking for price to break and take those highs out. Considering that price took out these highs yesterday, or these highs the other day, price made equal highs here. We were expecting price to continue to go up for the day. Depending on how this next day closes, if it closes super bearish, then we'll anticipate price coming out and taking out this swing low and this swing low here, and potentially filling some of these PD arrays down here. Now if we come down to the 4-hour time frame, we can see that we have a huge fair value gap that was formed from news. It was FOMC. We had a huge fair value gap that was formed, left behind. We also displaced above the highs, leaving behind the fair value gap, which is a classic right there. Tapped into the 4-hour fair value gap, dug into it a little bit, and then we also had 830 swing point, 830 equal lows here prior to the New York kill zone. We also were starting to generate some liquidity down there as well. This 830 bar, 830 candle opened up about right here, and then we had lows resting right there. We ended up taking out those lows, leaving behind we left behind the fair value gap, but like I said, we entered on the inverse of that fair value gap on ES because the market was pushing up. So with all that being said, and especially we had a 1 hour order, we had a 1 hour fair value gap here just in case price wanted to dig in a little deeper. We also had the order block resting right there, and then we tapped into the fair value gap on the 4-hour time frame, and we have equal highs resting above here, and we also have highs resting right there. So there's just a lot of confluence for me to take these buys today. Like I said at the start of the screen share, I wasn't anticipating my account even being able to take this much. I didn't know. I thought it'd stop me out at my minimum balance. I didn't know it wouldn't stop me out until 100K. But as you guys can see, this trade is doing really well. Like I knew it would. I knew this trade was either gonna stop me out quick, or this was gonna be something that we could run for the rest of the day in. So for the rest of the day, I'm anticipating price coming out and at least attempting to take out those highs. I could have held this trade for longer, but I can't because of the 50% consistency rule. I have to sell before I make $3,000 profit, or like $2,200 or something like that. And I don't want this account not to be eligible for funding just because of the fact that I got a good trade. So yeah, with all that being said, this is a beautiful trade. ES inverse. So account is back to where we started at the other day, man. So we're back to needing just one more trade. Yeah, that was a beautiful one. Let's go.